Today's episode of the Meet and Greet BBQ podcast is brought to you by AOS Outdoor Kitchens. They are the South's leading outdoor kitchen design and installation specialists. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Meet and Greet BBQ podcast. Today we're speaking to Matthew Hoggard, otherwise known as Hoggy, from Hoggy's Grill, where we're going to talk to him about how he's gone from professional cricketer right the way through to barbecue school owner and everything in between as well. But Hoggy can talk more about that. So without much further ado, here's Hoggy.
Welcome, Hoggy, to the Meet and Greet Barbecue podcast. It's fantastic to have you here. And for everyone, please introduce yourself. Let us know who you are.
Yeah, so I am Matthew Hoggard, a ex-cricketer, a now barbecue school proprietor, and a massive Mickey taker.
Perfect.
In that order.
That's where exactly what we want to hear. In which case, it's a big kind of leap from one of your professions to the other where you find yourself now. So talk us through that journey of how you went from cricket to barbecue school proprietor.
Yeah,
so I was say from cricketer to Mickey taker.
No, that's always been the Mickey taker been throughout the life really. But from cricketer to barbecue, I went to South Africa at 18 years old, and I played club cricket over there. And they braai every night. They've got the weather for it. They've got fantastic meat. They've got cold beers and lovely wines, and to sit out in the open, almost guaranteed nice weather, with the smell of the real fire, with the drinking, the eating, and just creating such lovely memories of standing out and and enjoying each other's company while braaiing or barbecuing in England. Fell in love with it. I've been doing it for the last 40 years. So not too long. And I was lucky enough to make a profession through cricket. I was lucky enough to play for my country for 9 years. I played professional cricket for 16 years, and I retired in 2013. I tried my hand at coaching, commentary. I tried my hand at insurance. I tried my hand at foreign currency, and I didn't love any of it. And my wife got rather angry with me and said, "Right, you need to find something you're passionate about." And I said, "Eating and drinking."
Mm-hmm.
Eating and drinking was barbecue school. I say nobody knows how to barbecue in the UK, but barbecuing in the UK, people tend to pre-cook the chicken in the oven before they plonk it on the barbecue. They burn the sausages. They get horrible patties from the supermarket. I wanted to educate people, saying, time it shouldn't be stressful. You can cook anything on a grill that you can cook in a kitchen. And I wanted to share my love of the alfresco dining and real fire cooking with everybody else. So hence we opened Hoggy's Grill.
Was Hoggy's Grill always kind of first in mind when you were going through that? What am I going to do next after those series of things? Was it just barbecue school, or did you not think about catering or chefing, or was it just straight to teaching people?
No, not at all. So again, it was like leaving school. So you retire from professional sport, it's like leaving school. But 40 years or 30 years later, you haven't got any qualifications that are current or that people want. You've got an ethos, you've got a drive, but you don't know what to do with yourself. And when you're 17 and you've left school, you can jump and up and down ladders and change career paths. I didn't know what to do with myself at all. I was umming and ahhing about a barbecue school. We said, right, well, you want to do it, let's do it. We didn't know where to do it, so we had a word with the local butchers who had the lambing sheds that we were going to convert into a barbecue school. They wanted a little bit too much control, so chance meeting at a Christmas party with a garden centre. Said, right, you need to meet these guys. They've got a garden centre. They know you from your cricketing days, and they're willing to put a Hoggy's Grill School at the garden centre. So we said, right, let's go for it. And we we had maybe a year of planning the barbecue school, and we opened up in 2020, just in time to shut for COVID.
No.
It's just oh yeah, that must have been a pretty stressful time.
It was. And when we went to the garden centre, it was a nursery. They sold plants. They had a small cafe. Um, and we were at the back of the nursery. We were in a long polytunnel, and behind us were fields and then Rutland Water. And it was a lovely spot. We had a fantastic view. But it was just a nursery, just a plant selling nursery. And the garden centre invested a lot of money, and now I am in a Hooker garden centre. It is really posh. They have a restaurant called The View overlooking the water. It is lush. It is one of the nicest garden centres in Rutland, if not the best garden centre in Rutland. Uh, and it is now really posh, and I'm stuck on the end. No, but we opened up in a building site, so we opened up just in time for COVID. Then we had restrictions, then we had the cost of living crisis, then we had the building site. People had to go into the Hoggy's Grill with a hard hat on to get through the building site to get into Hoggy's Grill before they're allowed to take it off. It was so the last 3 4 years have been bedlam because everything's contrived to against us and saying, right, then you're not doing this. But we're still here. We're still we don't owe any money. We're still going. We're really lucky that it's a family business. So my wife does all the admin and the hard things, like the organization and everything else. I rock up and cook and entertain the guests. And our son helps with entertaining the guests and pot washing. So it's a real family affair. We've been really lucky that our our garden centre, people that let us there looked after us during COVID. So if
Yeah.
people weren't in, we didn't have to pay. It wasn't a fixed rent. We only paid for the people that came in. And we decided that we were going to open a shop, but then we didn't have the capital to put in all the all the stock. So we then said, right, we'll open the school until we get the capital to open. And we were going to drop ship, but drop ship we had COVID, and all the big people said, right, we don't want any more stock. If it's not on the water, we're not taking any more stock. So then we had the backlog of you can't get grills in the UK because everybody bought a grill
Yeah.
at the start
Yeah.
of COVID. Then you couldn't drop ship. So our business model has split and flipped very, very, very regularly. But luckily, we've only got Sarah and I in the company, and she tells me what we are doing. So it's nice and easy. We don't have to go to committees. We don't have to take too long in making decisions. We said we weren't going to do outside catering, and now outside catering is one of the things that we do, and we go out and cater. I love outside catering. Um, so from what we thought it was going to be to what it actually is now is completely different. But it's a roller coaster, and I've loved every minute of it.
I suppose that's a part of an agile business nowadays, isn't it, as well, being able to kind of pivot to do different things. But
Pivot.
yeah, but it just sounds like, and for people watching this on perhaps YouTube rather than listening, but you can definitely see just when you're talking about it, the passion that
Hmm.
that comes through, even though all of the things that you've had to do during the last few years of, like you said, COVID, cost of living, all those things, you're still
But at
smiling
least
when you're
yeah,
talking to us about it.
yeah. We had an amazing day yesterday with Andrew Peace Wines, and we had influencers in, and just we do kids eat free burger classes and pizza classes, and it's just the enjoyment of people that come to the grill that don't normally cook. They don't cook inside, in the kitchen, and they come and you get them prepping food, you get them cooking food, and you get them eating it. And when they taste it and go, "Wow, this is amazing," and they say, "Thank you so much," well, I've done nothing. All I've done is shout at you. I mean, I'm just told you what
Guide.
confident you to from scratch, cook everything from scratch, and to hear people say, "Do you know what, this is the best food that not just that they've cooked, but they've eaten." It brings a smile to my face, and it's that. that whole ethos of knowing where your food's coming from, what's in your food, and you cooking your food, and the enjoyment. We've had people come to the grill school that are strangers and have organised holidays together before they've left. I'm thinking, well, that is the power of
Yeah.
food in general. But sitting around food, preparing food, cooking over a real fire, there's something Neanderthalic about it. There's something really nice about just cooking good food on fires, and people come together and have a fantastic time.
It must have been so fun to plan out the cooking space of the school, where you even start
Oh, you think
deciding.
we planned, do you?
But thinking
You've got us all wrong.
thinking about what I want people cooking on, what I want to be teaching on, how many of them do I want, what's the setup going to look like? All of that must have been something. I mean, I know I would love doing that.
Yeah. So again, everything was organic. Because we did it on a shoestring. We had to speak nicely to some barbecue companies and said, you know, we want to use your equipment, but what can we have? Um, and it's gone from maybe two or three grills into we've got a myriad of different grills now. I'm a big fan of KJ. We use a lot of Kamado Joe and Masterbuilt. We've got Traegers, we've got Somerset grills, we've got offset smokers, we've got PKs, we've got fire pits. You name it, we seem to have it. But we always seem to go, people always seem to come back to the sort of like ceramic way of
Mhm.
cooking and the KJs and the versatility of KJs. And I mean, the day yesterday we were cooking Yorkshire puddings, and people say you can't cook Yorkshire puddings on a grill. And I said, well, I'm from Yorkshire where there's will, there's a way. He can take the man out of Yorkshire, but not Yorkshire out of the man. So we were making Yorkshire puddings and sirloin steaks with a bit of chimichurri sauce and some canapes, and just to open people's eyes and people going, "Wow, Yorkshire puddings on a grill! You can bake cakes on a grill. You can do anything on a grill."
And do you find that a lot of people that are coming to the school uh, are complete novices when it comes to barbecue, or do you get quite a good range of people that perhaps have a grill and they've delved into it a little bit more, or to some people that like me that have got about 10 and just immerse themselves into it all the time?
Yeah. So I go everything, every spectrum. You get people that don't even know how to cut up an onion, um, to people that have 10 grills. With the 10 grills, it's lovely to just to bounce ideas off people and to say, have you tried this? Have you done that? I did this the other day and that worked really well. Have you dropped a little bit of hickory on that? There's so many different things that you learn off each other, and I think that is the fantastic thing about the barbecue community. Everybody's really friendly. Everybody is so free with the information. Everybody just wants to eat great food and pass the joy on of smoking, open fire cooking, and grilling out alfresco.
So you mentioned obviously about the kids eat free classes that you've done around burgers and pizzas. And I think you've kind of been doing that across the summer, haven't you?
Yes,
Um,
in some
so
holidays.
and that in itself must be quite rewarding. Just kind of trying to get the next generation into a being able to cook and be more independent, but actually understanding how cooking over fire works, and actually it's not a scary thing at all.
Yeah, just be in charge of your own destiny. Because I say, right, it doesn't matter what your mum and dad like. This is about what you're eating. You're cooking it. You're making it. You're eating it. So don't come in with any pre-ideas. We've had kids put maple syrup on their burgers and in their burgers. Not for me, but the kids love it. We've had people sugaring their burgers, but eating it. I'm not a fan, but I wouldn't have said, you know what, let's try maple syrup on this burger. The kids, if the kids are smiling, if the kids are loving it, if the kids say, I cannot wait to make burgers again, then that's half the job done. People, to get kids interactive in what they want to eat, how they're eating it, what flavors are actually going into their food, giving them the opportunity to cook for themselves. We've had little 8-year-olds that cook for the family and say, I made a spag bowl last night. And I don't, it melts my heart that you get the next generation actually wanting to cook for other people. And I don't know why. I think it stems about from seeing seeing my son feed for the first time, and I saw him feed for the first time, and I was in bits. And I love being a feeder. I love giving people food and seeing the smiles on their faces. And 9 times out of 10, I'm done with it, done with the eating. I don't eat. I just love people enjoying their own food and having the opportunity to make decent food on a grill. In fact, I don't even care if it's on a grill. I just like people enjoying decent food and cooking their own food and knowing where that food's come
On that point, the meat that you use in the school, where do you source that from? And is that similar to what you're cooking with at home when you're cooking for yourself as well?
Yeah, so we use Gary Simpson, our Simpson's Butchers. He's award winning. He's twice won Britain's best butcher shop. He's local. He's in Stamford, which is 10-15 minutes away from the grill school. So I can WhatsApp him the day before when I've forgotten everything and say, I've forgotten X, Y, and Z. Or, sometimes I'm organized, do it for the day. But he's so versatile. He's got so many different products and ranges. And the meat that we get, he knows exactly where it's from, exactly where it's being eaten, where it was slaughtered, how long he's had it. It comes to us in the fridge, and it's always fresh because he's so local. And if you use great products to start with, that's half the battle. It's harder to mess up great products. Um, but equally, I have had the odd. I've forgotten everything. I need to go to Aldi on the way in, and
Mhm.
I've cooked things from Aldi, and the clients have said, you know what, this is the best things we've eaten. I said, well, I've got a confession. They're from Aldi. And for our fish and our seafood and our scallops and our prawns, we use a fish rich company from Nottingham, which again is nice and close. I know we're nowhere near the sea. In fact, Leicester's got is the middle of the country that's furthest away from the sea. But to have people going to Grimsby Docks in the morning and bringing you fresh fish, um, there's so many times we halfway through the morning and we're having lemon sole or we're having plaice for lunch and it's not there yet. And they come in and they bring it in from the van, fresh from the van, and say, yeah, fresh this. Just been from Grimsby Docks in here and you can't get fresh from that. So yeah, it's really nice. We've got some really good suppliers. They've looked after us really well. And I love having local relationships.
I think that's definitely key, isn't it? Do you find the, the social element? You mentioned obviously back in South, when you were living in South Africa and you're having the braais, the social element, beer or not, just kind of getting together around
But
cooking, like you said,
is there
eating
not
good
a
food.
law about grilling? It's almost illegal to grill without a beer or a drop of wine in your hand.
Yes, I think it's unwritten, but pretty much.
It is a written, but right.
No, I
Yeah.
was
So
just going
you're
to
saying
say,
about the social aspect?
yeah, and do you try and bring as how does that kind of work with perhaps a group of strangers that are coming together? How do you kind of get them to, like you said, book holidays by the end of it? What does it, part of
Yeah.
that experience, really?
Yeah. So I am. I hate rules. I hate regulations. I hate being told what to do. I like fun. I like interaction. I like being in charge of what I'm doing. So, although there are guidelines and saying, right, then this is what we're eating, like a salsa, right? I'm not going to tell you how to make a salsa. If you want a spicy salsa, we've got some chilies. I suggest you put two chilies in. If you don't like chilies, don't put chilies in. If you like coriander, let's zest it up with a coriander. If you don't like coriander, you think it takes a soap. We've got some parsley, we've got some chives. Don't put coriander. And to have people, this is about your taste buds, not my taste buds. This isn't about me dictating to you how you should prep a meal, how uh, what you're putting in your food. We'll give you the main ingredients, and then I'll tell you, if you like your steak medium rare, it's 3 minutes. If you like it, or if you like it rare, it's 3 minutes. If you like medium rare, it's 4 minutes. If you like it over that, you can leave. There's all. I try and make it fun. I try and like the. No, it's not a stuffy atmosphere. It is about enjoyment. It is, and food does that to people. And I don't. If I went to a course, I would hate to watch somebody else cook because I'd go to a course and I'd want to be hands on. I'd want to be doing the cooking. I wouldn't want to watch them cook and then go home and try and replicate that. So
Yeah.
everything at Hoggies, I'll make the start. So I make little nibbles to start with. So they'll come in at 10 o'clock. They'll have a nibble that we've already made. Then everything else, I don't prep. I don't touch. I do absolutely bugger all. Except for make their experience hopefully fun, enjoyable, and they do all the prep, all the cooking, and all the eating. Well, maybe I nick some food afterwards, but depending on what they've cooked.
That's your right.
But it is
Yeah.
yeah, but it is a hands-on. The guests do all the work, they do all the prep, they do all the cooking, they do all the eating. We just supply the soft drinks, the teas, the coffees, the alcohol, and just try and get everybody to have a fantastic time and an enjoyable experience.
You're right. The hands-on technique from learning and cooking yourself, you pick up so much more from that. Because if you're just watching someone for half an hour, you're not getting the feel, the
Oh,
touch, the way that meat bends, and when you're
yeah.
cooking and things, all of that you're not getting through. Um, when you develop, well, I know no planning as I said, but as you're learning and teaching as it's going on, is your technique in how you're teaching people changing over time?
Yeah, obviously. If you if you don't progress, if you don't improve, you're standing still. And when you go back to sport and everything else, and coaching, the everything progresses through things. You're always learning, you're always picking up little things, you're always developing your skills, and you don't want to be stagnant. So you're trying little things every time. You're changing the menu, and it's you'll pick up little things from on different customers said, I could have done that better. And next week you implement that. And I've got a 17-year-old son who does a lot of the classes, who's not backwards in coming forwards. And he will tell me, do you know what, this is what we should be doing, and suggestive hinting. And you listen to your clients, you listen to how they've enjoyed it, and you want to improve every time. I'm not an arrogant little bar humbug that says, right, this is the only thing that we're doing, this is how we're doing it, and this is always going to be how we do things. So we try and bend and be really flexible.
So you were sort of saying about kind of being flexible to what they want in terms of, like you said, if you don't want chilies, don't have chilies. If you want,
Yeah,
coriander, etc.
yeah,
Do you, is that the kind of the same in terms of equipment? So if someone wants to use the Traeger, they use the Traeger. If they want to use a KJ or a pizza oven, or even if they're not cooking pizza, do you kind of allow that flexibility as well?
correct. Because the whole element of Hoggy's Grill is, come in and experience different things. If you've got a command or if you've got a clay oven, you can by all means, if you want to experiment and use different I will suggest that, the Traegers are fantastic for smoking, slow cooking. They're not fantastic for searing. Masterbuilt's exactly the same. I will explain to them how each grill works and what the benefits are of each grill. We'll explain the menu to them. Say, right then, what we're cooking, and I'll give them the option. Sometimes people will email in before and say, right then, I have a KJ, so can I do all my cooking on a KJ? You get other people that come in saying, I'll cook on gas and I want to really cook on gas, and then you explain how easy everything else works, and they go,
Yeah.
maybe I want to use real fire today. So we do, I'm not swearing, but we do have gas. It's
We'll
better.
cut that out.
We have gas bottles, but they're not normally full. So people come and if people are adamant they want to come use gas, then we'll go to the gas shop and we'll get some gas. But the whole ethos of Hoggy's Grill is cooking on real life fire and smoke, and elevating, opening people's how easy it is. So just to get a KJ from 0 to 200 degrees, it's 17 minutes.
Mhm.
And you say, nah, nah. It's not 17. In 17 minutes, you can get a KJ from no charcoal to 200 degrees, ready for your Yorkshires, for your Hasselback to hold it, and 20 minutes. And they say, don't you have to light it 3 hours in advance? And you go, no, you don't have to light charcoal 3 hours in advance. And in fact, if you only use a chimney starter, if you're using decent
Hmm.
quality lumpwood charcoal, you can be cooking quicker than on a gas gar- barbecue, because when you turn on the gas, you have to wait for all the metal to heat up. So when the fat drips down, it turns into gas and goes back into your food, or to stop you having the fat fires. With charcoal, your fat drops down, it turns into nice flavors and come back up. And you don't have to light it 3 hours in advance. You can be 20 minutes before you're cooking and on charcoal. So it's just opening people's eyes of how easy charcoal is to use if you have the right techniques and the right equipment.
Yeah, chimney starters. For anyone listening who has never listened to this podcast before and was maybe hoping to hear more about 2005, I would say from an ease perspective, a chimney starter and a meat thermometer are the two essential accessories for any barbecuing, but they're a great starting point as well if you're a bit intimidated, because it just takes all of the pain out of barbecuing.
What's pain in barbecuing? Stop it. No, stop saying that. No, there's no pain in barbecuing. It's lovely. I but yeah, meat thermometers are a must. It
Mm,
turns everybody into an instant better cook, and that implies in your cooker as well, because you'll get a. I won't use any. You'll get a chicken from a supermarket. It'll tell you that you need to cook it for 2 hours, at 220 degrees and blah blah blah. If you use a meat probe, you'll find out that you know what, it's cooked after an hour and a half. It
mhm.
doesn't
Yeah.
need the 2 hours, and they're giving you 2 hours to make sure that their backsides are covered, so everything's overcooked. But as soon as you start using temperature probes and cooking to temperature, not to time, you find your meat is so tasty and juicy, not overcooked, and it takes all the guesswork out. You don't have to chop it in half and see how it's doing to let all the juices run out. You know exactly when things are cooked, and you can wow your guests while enjoying life and relaxing.
Mhm.
But I think the biggest mistake that people make when they have barbecues, if you went round to a friend's house and you were saying, right, we're having a dinner party, and you're sat inside in the dining room, you have one starter, you have one main course, and you have one dessert, all cooked in the kitchen. The person that cooks, knows how to cook, has done the menu. You then say, oh, do you know, it's a nice day, let's have a barbecue. So you buy three different starters, you buy three different main courses, and you buy two desserts. You buy three starters that are cooked in different ways and at different temperature and different techniques. The three main courses are cooked at different times and different temperature and different techniques. You give it to the person that doesn't cook normally and only cooks twice a year when the sun's out, and they go out and light their grill. They don't have a freaking clue how to cook, and they wonder why it's stressful.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
so keep it simple, keep it nice and easy, keep people wanting more. And it is to me so easy to say, why do we complicate things when it comes to grill? And people don't use the direct, and I know you'll have talked about it all the time, the direct and indirect. They won't use the lids.
Mhm.
They won't. They don't use the right techniques and wonder why things are stressful and why they start wasting beer by chucking beers and wines over the flames that they're getting out because the fatty food's dripping onto the charcoal. They buy easy light charcoal that's pumped full of petroleum and then sprayed with fire retardant,
I-
wondered why the place smells like chemicals. Eh, eh, and that's why we opened up a school to say, you know what, it's so easy, and so it should be so easy and relaxing using them charcoal.
Mm.
That's yeah. Funny enough, I was kind of going to bring up the kind of petroleum based firelighters and charcoal and just how bad they are. When you go around people's houses and you get the little white blocks that you just as soon as you get it out,
Yeah,
of the
no,
packet, it just
no.
stinks of
Yeah, and the easy light charcoal that's pumped full of petroleum products and then
Mm.
with that
yes.
fire retardant so it doesn't. That's, And then it says wait for 20 minutes because you can smell once you've lit it, you can smell the chemicals coming off it.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I've got a big job, which is big. It is a huge barbecue. It takes a lot of charcoal, and when you put your charcoal in, I'm a big fan of low Baltic, birch, single species birch charcoal. Whack it in. One firelighter that you put into like a woody, that you
Hmm.
use in your wood burner stoves. One firelighter in the middle to start the fire. 20, 17 minutes later, it's at 200 degrees.
Yeah.
And people that but you didn't use any firelighters. You didn't use, or you used one firelighter. You didn't use any squirty crap. You didn't use anything else. It's one firelighter, charcoal around it. You set it up. It gets to 200 degrees in 17. And people go, wow, and that's a huge KJ. The smaller KJ will take less time. So it's opening people's eyes to how easy grilling can be if you buy the right charcoal. And that's one of my biggest bugbears is your charcoal. A barbecue is a sealed container. It holds charcoal. Therefore, the charcoal is the most important thing that you buy. It could be made out of steel, concrete, ceramic, iron. It's just an enclosed chamber to hold your charcoal. Therefore, your charcoal gives you your heat, gives you the food, gives you the flavors, and it is the thing that makes your cooking experience good or bad. So, if the biggest thing that you take away from this podcast is invest in some decent lumpwood charcoal.
If you've been looking or thinking about an outdoor kitchen, then look no further than AOS Outdoor Kitchens.
They are the South's leading outdoor kitchen design and installation specialists.
Their extensive showroom is based just outside Bournemouth on the Dorset-Hampshire border, and as well as numerous in-store displays, also features a live outdoor kitchen where they cook every week on Kamado grills, pizza ovens, and all filmed and shown on YouTube.
They offer a wealth of knowledge on how to transform your patio into the most incredible outdoor dining area with styles and options to suit every budget, and you can guarantee they will be able to create something perfectly suited to you and your home.
They stock and supply everything that you're going to need for outdoor cooking, including barbecues, Kamado ovens, pizza ovens, outdoor fridges, and every accessory that you would need to become the ultimate outdoor chef.
So if you want to make yourself the envy of your friends and neighbours, get in touch with them today to arrange a consultation and take the first step in transforming your back garden into the most incredible entertainment space.
Visit aoskitchens.co.uk. Yeah, we've had a couple of episodes before where we've actually dedicated them to charcoal and just about how proper good charcoal's made, and just because you're right, it's so essential. But typically, it's like you said, twice a year when we've had the sun out, you nip to your local supermarket, get the $2.99 bag that's at the front of the store, and end up using that. And I also find that still, even going to barbecues now, even though I think we have come along in our barbecue journey generally in the UK, everyone chucks everything on at once. It's all cooked once. Whereas it's got to be like, get it out over 3 or 4 hours and just do little bits and pieces.
Patience.
Yeah.
Patience is the key.
Yeah.
And do you know what patience gives you? More time to drink.
Exactly that.
So when somebody asks you, how long would you cook this piece of meat?
10 beers.
I say, how long you got? Because how long you've got is how long it will take me to cook that piece of meat. Because you have so much more time to get flavors into that piece of meat. You're not rushing it. You're not making it constant. You're patience to me is the buzzword. You don't have to be ready in 10 minutes. And if you're cooking a big piece of meat, if you're cooking a brisket, get it. You need to rest them. So if you're inviting guests round at 2 o'clock, ready for 2 o'clock. Because even if you plan to get your meat ready for 2 o'clock, you'll hit that stall point. It won't be cooked at 2 o'clock. You'll go past it. People will be stressing because they came around to eat at 2 o'clock. If it's not ready, you're turning the heat up. You're now rushing it. You ruin the cook. You then say, "Oh, all right, it's ready now." You take it straight out. You start slicing it. All the juices run out, and you think, "Well, it's a bit tough. It's a bit dry," and you ruin the experience. Where I say, "Well, I'm getting people around at 2 o'clock. Well, let's get it ready for at least 12 o'clock, if not before,
Mm.
and let it rest. Let it rest. Let it soak up the juices again. So when you're carving it, you've got no stress because your food's already ready. You're now just cooking the secondary bits. Your main superstar ingredient is already cooked. It's resting. If it's a brisket or a pulled pork, it's now in the cool box. You did it 4 hours before. It's now just ticking over, and you've got no stress whatsoever because you know that the superstar of your ingredient is ready, and all you have to do is take it out, carve it. To try and get it ready at the time that your guests arrive is absolutely not on.
No, it's ridiculous. And also
That,
you
that
miss
that was
out
polite of me, that wasn't
you miss out on the joy of half cut cooking, I like to call it, at like
it?
half 11 at night to midnight.
Yeah,
Like, right,
yeah,
light the
yeah.
barbecue now, get everything
Yeah,
on.
correct.
And it's so fun. It's so fun to do that,
Yeah,
you know?
and you can impart so much more flavors.
Hmm.
So I had a guy come round the other day and he said, right, we're doing pulled pork. I'm going to get up early and put my pulled pork on. And I said, why? He said, well, I need to get up at 6:30 just to get my pulled pork on so it's ready. I said, yeah, but why? You're using a Traeger. Put it on overnight, man.
Mm.
Get it on at 90 degrees overnight. It's not going to overcook because you're at 90 degrees. Your pot wants to get to 95 degrees before we're going to pull it and everything. So you can put it on in the morning before you go to bed. You can check it on your phone. You can make sure that everything's tickety boo. And he texted me and said, you know, I had an 18-hour cook at 19 degrees and it was absolutely banging. And it took all the stress out of getting up early because nobody likes getting up early. Of relaxing, having a lovely cook, getting as many flavors as you can, spritzing. It's just patience. The
Mm.
longer you have to cook, the longer you take.
So I think it's quite appropriate, Hoggy, that whilst you've been imparting all of those tips, that we kind of flip it on its head now and talk about some of the barbecue fails. That's one of the things that we hold very dear on the
How
podcast.
long we got?
Uh, as long as you've got patience, we want to hear the stories.
Uh, yeah, of course. Yeah, so patience is the key. And the the fails. Where do we go first? You failed at everything. As soon when you start your barbecuing journey, you fail a lot of the time. You don't set fire to, you always smoke with not letting enough air in, not getting the fire starting, so everything's so acid and horrible and smoky, and you take a bite and you go, you know what? I can't eat that. It's absolutely amazing. It just tastes like soot. You overcook things and you say, right, I've done burnt belly pork ends. Yeah, excellent. They are burnt. They're like freaking they're not succulent, they're not juicy. You've cooked them far too long. They're just crunchy in my mouth and horrible. Um, the list goes on and on. You take chicken off with before temperature was a big thing. You say, right, we've cooked it right. You open it up and it's raw. You on your barbecuing journey, you will have failed so many times. But if you're not failing, you're not progressing. If
Mhm.
you don't, and then you learn. You get taught in a sporting environment that you need a safe environment to progress. That you know, if you're not failing, you're not progressing. You sat in a comfort. So it's same with anything in life. If you're just sat in one zone and doing things that are comfortable that you can do in your sleep, day in, day out, then you're never going to get better. And daring to, I mean, I've failed with briskets. I've had briskets that you try and cook, and you cut and you're going, I might need a saw, because they're super tough. And now, am I allowed to swear
Yeah.
on
Go on.
podcast?
Yeah, go on.
Um, I'm going to tell you that I think brisket's overrated.
Wow. I agree. I think it's a fun thing to cook, but if you're just talking about beef for a starting point, I've said many a times on here, I think beef ribs are the better option,
Oh,
personally.
short beef ribs. But it's brisket's a cheap cut of meat.
Hmm.
You have to cook it a long time because it is a cheap cut of meat. And I don't like long cooked, slow cooked beef. I don't like stew. I don't like long cooked, slow cooked beef. I'm much more a fan of a pork or a lamb that's been long cooked, slow cooked. But the fantastic thing is horses for courses. Is everybody has an opinion. Some other people say, "Oh, no, beef, the brisket is the best thing that's since sliced bread." I'm not going to tell you not to cook it. I'm just saying that I find that I've tried brisket and I've cooked brisket where it's bendy, you push it, it comes out all juicy and everything. And to me, it tastes like a cheap cut. I've waited. I say I've wasted. I've cooked it for 20 hours, 24 hours. I've cooked it so it's perfect, and I still haven't enjoyed the eating experience. I've
Oh,
sliced
really?
it and gone, you know what? I'd rather have a tomahawk, a reverse seared tomahawk than this piece of brisket. I'd rather have a ribeye steak. I'd rather have a different cut of meat to brisket. But it is horses for courses, and that's why cooking is fantastic. Nobody has the same taste buds. Nobody can tell you what you like and what you don't like, and that's what we try and practice.
On that point, then, we've talked a lot about different kind of cuts and everything. What is your favorite thing to barbecue? If no one else was around you, you weren't doing it for anyone else, just for yourself, what would you cook?
Ah, what day of the week is
A
it? My
drinking
my
day.
whole e my whole ethos is that everything tastes better on a barbecue.
Mhm,
So
Yeah.
from a cooked breakfast, bacon, sausages, eggs, everything else tastes better on the grill.
mhm,
Um, your pork, your steak, your ribs, your chicken, everything tastes better on a grill. Your chili, your flank steak chili that you've dropped, tastes better on a grill. Um, and it and even I think leftovers, you can eat. I think leftover barbecue food, you can taste so much more smoke and so much more flavors that have
mhm.
intensified in the fridge overnight. That I'm going to say leftovers are absolutely one of my favorite things to eat. But I've avoided your question there, haven't I? What am I cooking?
That was like a politician's answer.
Yeah, but everything is my answer. It would most probably be a nice reverse seared tomahawk steak.
Mhm.
I do love a bit, or a bit of lamb. I love uh, a pork, fish. I mean, prawns, lobster. Oh, stop it. Everything. Surf and turf.
Yeah,
Let's go
perhaps
surf
we
and
should
turf. So,
perhaps
so
we
I
should
can have land. Yeah,
perhaps we should
everything.
turn it around and say what apart from brisket, what wouldn't you cook on the barbecue? What just don't you enjoy cooking? Let's try and narrow that
Um,
down.
Nothing.
Oh,
I
okay.
love a challenge. I love the challenge. So I bake cakes on the grill. I've already told you I make milk puddings on the grill. There's
Yeah.
nothing we've had chefs that have come in for development chefs that have made souffles in a grill. There is nothing you can't cook on a grill that you can in a kitchen. You just need to have the right technique and the confidence. And one of the biggest thing I try and give our client is the confidence to go out and try things. Because you say, if you sit in your little comfort zone and you keep on cooking your sausages and your burgers, you're not going to get any better. To go out and say, "Do you know what, let's practice, let's have the confidence to put our decent cuts of meat, our potatoes, everything else on the grill. You'll sometimes you'll fail. Everybody's fails with 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 grilling. Everybody's failed in a kitchen. So the reward that you get for succeeding outside with charcoal, with smoke, with wood, is that the flavors that you impart are so much better than putting it in an electric oven in your kitchen or cooking it in a frying pan. So confidence, have a go, and experiment and enjoy your failures. But other than that, you're going to enjoy your success so much.
I think this is a really opportune moment to go into barbecue bingo, talking about ingredients and challenging yourself. And so what I want to do is I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Uh, we've got a spinning wheel. We paid a lot of money for this, Hoggy. So
It looks like you have the graphics are amazing.
I know. I'll tell my daughter. She was on it for weeks.
I might
We've
need to go to Specsavers because I can't read that.
It's all
That's
right.
right.
It's because I
Dan will
read it
talk.
out.
Yeah, Dan will
Yeah.
talk.
Do,
Dan will
do
talk
you know
through.
what? I'll trust you.
So the other reason I read it out is because the people who are listening, rather than watching it. So we've got a large wheel in front of us with lots of different ingredients on that have been left from
Now, what
previous
are the different
guests.
colours?
The different colors are the fact that it labels it different colors, so apparently it's easier to read when they're next to each other. Nothing to
Ah,
do with
so
the type of food,
so it's
Hills.
not Earth, Sea, and fire, anything else.
No,
It's just
this.
Oh, God, we're not that
oh,
sophisticated.
you're not that sophisticated. Okay.
I'm
No.
pretty sure if you
Do,
check, you
do,
can't
do
spell
you know
well
what?
enough.
That's about as slow as my bowling now. Is it going any faster?
It's only at the 95 miles
It's
an
like a
hour, isn't
water wheel. It's like a slow torture.
it? So,
Press a button, stop it.
some of the bits that we've got on there, we've got tripe, kangaroo, beef neck, andouille sausage, vindaloo paste,
Sausage.
octopus,
Nice.
octopus,
Nice.
pineapple,
Octopus.
monkfish,
Lovely. Yeah. Yeah.
chicken
Oh, I love a bit.
hearts, duck,
Yeah.
Szechuan
Yeah.
pepper, paella, and something on there which we haven't discussed yet, which is called my signature dish. So if it lands on that, it's up to you what you cook. What are you best known
That,
for?
that's cheating. I'm best known for nothing because I cook everything.
Could you
On a
cook
grill.
everything then for us?
Yeah, what?
Well, it could take
One
a
of
while.
everything.
It'll be a long podcast.
Let's deal with that bridge if it lands on it, shall we?
Right.
Yeah,
Let's give it a
let's
spin.
do that.
Yeah.
Oh, so you haven't
Here we
spun
go.
it yet?
Yeah, we
No.
will
Oh, the
do.
anticipation. You can see I'm
Yeah.
nervous.
Here comes the fast bowl.
Yeah, go on then. It's not moving in. Oh, yeah, there we
There you
go.
go.
It's going backwards and forwards. Oh, it's red. It's danger.
Oh, it's andouille
Chili.
sausage.
Nah, that's boring. Can we have another spin?
Have another spin if you want.
Yeah, all right. I'll give it another spin. Why not?
Yeah, got sausage. We can cook sausage.
And it.
The
So have a look
spicy
here.
spicy sausage pasta. That sounds nice.
Beef neck.
Cool. Let's do that.
Sounds good.
Let's do a beef neck.
And we'd love you to leave something if you can for hopefully the another guest. Have you got anything that you'd like to put on here for us?
Yes. Now, I'm going to be nice. And one of my favourite things to cook is scallops.
Nice.
So let's put scallops on there.
They're on. Great.
Excellent.
They're on there. So what are you thinking with beef neck? What's your first thoughts?
Well, obviously, we're going to have to do it slow and low. Initial things are tacos.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We can make some nice fresh tacos out of there. We could make a nice chili. Do like a chili. I might slow braise it
Oh,
and smoke it and make a nice little chili out of it. I could slow cook it and make a lasagna that. Lasagna. I love a lasagna. I might slow cook my beef neck and pull it and make a beef lasagna. And have a
gorgeous.
beef neck
Yeah,
lasagna.
I love a lasagna. That sounds epic.
Yeah. Now, do you know when you have leftover pulled pork? Have you made a pulled pork lasagna?
I have
No.
not. I've not considered doing that. I've done it with like brisket and things in the past, but I've
Yeah.
never gone to the pork side.
Oh, come to the dark side. Make a pulled pork lasagna. You will thank me later. It is
I've
delicious.
I've made a lasagna where I've put black pudding as the first base,
I'm
which
up with
was
that. I love a bit of
it,
black pudding.
I mean it was very rich, but
Yeah. Now, do you know what I like with black pudding? Mash. Black pudding mash.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, make it
Well, like
make it
mixed
nice
in
and
together.
toasted. Yes.
Oh, okay,
A
nice.
bit of black pudding mash, a little peppery in there, a little bit of nice richness in your mashed potatoes.
Oh, that sounds
Oh,
good. I
and you
love
can do
black
your
pudding.
trio with pork with that.
Mm.
You pig's cheeks, and you can make them down into a little sticky bomb. You can, oh, stop it! So
It's
one
the
of my
problem with this, isn't it?
favourites.
You just talk about
Uh,
food all the time. It's like
yeah, one of
hungry
my
all the time.
favourite is pork belly. So you brine it in your cider and everything, all the flavors that you want to do that. Then you smoke it till it's nice and cooked, and then I squash it for 24 hours. So I press it in between two baking sheets. Uh, so last one time I put 25 kgs on it and pressed it, and it comes out really, really thin and really dense. And then can slice it, and then you can grill it back up, and you can get that really crackling because it's been smoked for 8, 9 hours.
Oh,
It's nice and fresh. You can slice it up, and it's still melting your mouth. But so when you take it off and it's warm, it falls to pieces because you've cooked it till it's so tender. But if you then squash it and refrigerate it, it then um, the consistency hardens back up, so you can get it into nice slices, and you can portion it out. And that with black pudding mash and sticky pig's cheeks bonbons. Oh,
I've
it's bloody
I,
lovely.
I would never think to do that with pork belly, but that
Yeah.
sounds awesome. Again, seems like a long process, but worth all the steps to get that end result.
So again, even with pork crackling, people say, "How do I get pork crackling?" And you say, "Well, do you know that supermarket pork that you buy on a Saturday that's in the shrink wrap that's really wet and horrible, and you take it out 20 minutes before you're going to cook it? You ain't getting crackling. You need to take it out at least
Mm.
2 days before, make sure that you salt it and try and dry your skin out. And even better, go to the sin butchers because we
Yeah.
already said the better the products are, the easier it is to cook with. Go to the butchers who, when they display it, it's not shrink wrapped. They'll then put it in a plastic bag and they'll give it to you. When you take it home, take it out of that plastic bag and put it back in the fridge with some salt on it to dry that skin out. Because if you haven't got dry skin, you're not going to get perfect wrap.
Mm.
Crackling so much.
Yeah. Oh,
We we're coming towards the end now, and I'm loving some of these tips that you've given us. Are there any other secret barbecue school hacks for getting the most out of cuts that maybe we haven't discussed yet that blow people's minds when you tell them?
now there's so many that you off the cuff you don't think about, and then you go, "Do you know what, we could have done that." But one of the bigger ones, have you made so burnt belly pork ends? We're going back to I don't know why we've fixated on belly, but the burnt belly pork ends.
Mhm.
Have you gone to your butcher and said, "Right, then I want some smoky bacon, but don't slice it. I want the cured belly, and make your burnt belly pork ends out of cured smoky bacon. And you
I
can
haven't.
cube them, and you can make burnt belly pork ends out of smoked bacon cured belly. Ah, they are just elevated to a different level. They are amazing.
That's
I've
not
never
something.
tried that, but yeah,
No.
that sounds.
Excellent. So I said one thing that you might go away and try, which is great. But yeah, the bacon, cured bacon, burnt belly pork ends are absolutely fantastic.
So Owen's been curing his own bacon from time to time. So what I'd like you to do, is cure and smoke some bacon for me, and I'll do it with your bacon and see how that comes out.
Oh, that sounds good.
That's a
Yeah,
challenge.
I'm
Challenge
up for it.
expend. So I'm going to be making some beef neck.
Hmm.
You're going to be making some smoked bacon, so we can make
Make
some
some
Yeah,
burnt
pork
belly pork
belly.
ends out of it.
sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
So Hoggy, as I said, obviously Dan said that we're kind of coming towards the end, and just want to make sure. Is there anything else that we haven't kind of covered yet that you wanted to kind of get across in this episode? And of course, plug yourself. Tell us where people can find you afterwards, of course.
Nah, not massively. Obviously, we're Hoggy's Grill. We're a barbecue school in Rutland. Nice and easy to get to in the centre of the country. Yeah, I run all the classes, so you get me. It's not a place where you rock up and you'll have any chef coming in to do it. I run all the classes. Other than that, no, I would suggest to people, experiment because some of the biggest mistakes. I mean, Guinness was a mistake. Somebody burnt the hops, turned it black, and how big is Guinness now? So you might make a huge mistake and go, "Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to use that." So use good quality charcoal. Use your lid. Use a meat probe. All the same thing that everybody tells you to do, but don't be afraid. Have fun. Be confident, and don't be scared of making a mess up because everybody messes.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. There's some really good tips. Thank you very much. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure coming having you on the show. Genuinely,
Mm.
lots of treasures there, but also some things that we're going to take away and do ourselves. I really want to go at squishing that pork belly as well. That between the
Yeah,
shoots,
squish
that
the
sounds
pork
awesome.
belly and make burnt pulled pork lasagna. It is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be done. Top of the list. Thank you so much, Hoggy. Thank
I
you.
literally did pulled
Always.
pork yesterday as well. I'll have to go get some pulled pork.
Have you got any left over?
No, I put them into a mac and cheese. We had a bit of an American sort of style thing, but yeah.
Okay. So what do you do? So I'm gonna ask you, what do you do with your leftover lamb? So if you cook lamb
Hmm.
and you've tunnel bone a leg of lamb, you've packed it full of nice flavors, you've cooked it medium rare, you're slicing it, you've got lamb left over. What do you do with your leftover lamb?
Things that I've done with it, I like making almost like a cottage pie with it.
Yes.
That's just really, really nice. Other things that I've actually passed through mashed potato before as well, and
Mm,
almost had them in like a stew as dumplings as part of a
yes.
stew. That's really nice. Sometimes I like to bring it back up to temperature in kind of stock, and then just have it as kind of the main meat as part of a meal. What else have I done with it? Kind of in a pasta dish as well, more with its own kind of juices and tossed with tagliatelle, that sort of
Because
stuff.
the lamb is the one meat that you get that's called right, let's waz it up and make a shepherd's pie.
Mm.
That's what I normally do with it. I was just wondering what could I be doing with leftover lamb rather than shepherd's pie.
I'll
But
tell
I'm
you.
liking
Mm,
uh, wazzing it up and making potato rosties out of it
mm,
and saying, "Do you know what, we're going to have lamb rosties." That might work quite nicely. But it's just bouncing out.
mm,
Thing is that you bounce ideas off people, and somebody will say, "Ah, have you tried it?" And that's what I love about the barbecue community.
mhm.
Everybody has done something and they've tried something that you got, ah, I want to cook that next. And it's just an ever evolving landscape that everybody's so happy to share. Well, most people are happy to share, and it's just a fantastic place to be.
Yeah, and on the point of lamb, my favorite way to barbecue lamb is a butterfly leg.
Yeah,
I just think that's so good. It allows you to get more without over smoking it, more smoke across more of a surface area as well. I
yeah,
just find that comes out so nicely. For people listening and
yeah.
haven't tried that, go and try it.
Yeah. So we have arguments when we come to lamb
Hmm.
at home. So Sarah likes fall off the bone, keep it on there. You want to pull the bone out. It'd be nice and clean, full of back lamb. So Moroccan style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ernie and I like pink lamb.
Yeah.
And when we do lamb, I like to tunnel bone it.
Hmm.
So you like to butterfly it and get more surface area. I love to tunnel bone it so we don't butterfly it. We can then
Mm.
pull the bone out and then stuff the lamb with a lot of flavor and then cook that as a joint, and then you can slice all the way through it without the bones. And I love lamb, but it's the leftover lamb that we struggle. We've met. If you had crispy beef from, I call it cardboard beef from the Chinese.
Yeah.
The crispy chili beef. So we do that with the lamb. So if we've got it, we slice it up and we make crispy chili lamb rather than the beef, and it tastes less like cardboard. So I don't like crispy chili beef. I think it tastes just like cardboard. But my missus loves it, so we make crispy chili lamb, which is really nice. But it's asking people what they do and picking their brains and nicking their ideas and then passing them off as your own 2 weeks later.
The other thing we do, which I haven't mentioned actually, is dice it up and then have it in an orzo, but almost cook it a bit like a paella, and at
Oh
the
yeah,
end finish it
nice.
off with
Yes.
feta as well.
Oh no, I love a bit of feta.
So good, that is very, very nice. Oh, and toasted pine nuts as well. So you've got like a bit
That's
of different
yes.
crunches and stuff. That's really
Pine
good.
nuts or cashew nuts. I love a bit of toasted cashew nuts to whack in there.
Mm.
Yes.
I
Oh.
have no ideas for lamb because I just never cook it. I cut them out on this one. But lamb tacos would seem like a good way to use up leftovers.
Yeah.
Bit
Lamb
shit.
tacos. No, lamb tacos. Lamb fajitas. Lamb
Yeah.
fajitas. Yeah. It's
I
just
just
yeah.
I
It's
don't
just
like
one of
lamb
those
hoggy. I
meats.
can't get on with it.
Can you not?
No,
Not even a home crusted rack of lamb.
I can't. I've tried lamb so many times, different ways. I just can't get on with it.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore.
I know.
I tell him
It's
it's
been
a
emotional though. It's
disappointment.
been emotional.
Yeah. Huge disappointment every single day I have to speak to him.
Oh, well cooked lamb is absolutely fantastic.
I want
I
to
love
like it
lamb.
so much because it does like a
Yes.
lot. It does obviously look really nice, and there's some fantastic
Well,
recipes.
to be fair, I told you I don't like brisket.
Yeah.
So we're sharing.
We are.
We are sharing. And I think because we can share our dislikes, we can just concentrate on our likes and make them
Yeah.
super likes and make them better,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
cured bacon, burnt belly pork ends.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think you need to both go away and have a word with yourselves about how you're acting, and then
I can do that.
Hoggy, thank you so much for coming on, and I'm sure
Yeah,
that we'll
No
see you
worries.
out in the wilderness at some point as well at different events and things like that. And I look forward to it. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
No
yeah,
worries.
great to
Thank
meet
you for
you.
having us.
That's it for another episode of the Meet and Greet Barbecue podcast. Thanks so much to Hoggy. It was great to chat to him and talk to him about his clear passion for barbecue, cooking outside, and great quality produce. Hopefully, you picked up some tips there. We certainly did. And until next time, keep on grilling. Today's episode is brought to you by AOS Kitchens, the South's leading outdoor kitchen design and installation specialists.